right, look who I have with me. Okay, so we want to answer all the Disney questions that I've been getting. So my phone has literally been blowing up with questions. And so I wrote them all down and I broke the questions up into different categories. So, hey Brandy. So I have different videos scheduled for the whole week that we'll be doing to give you the info. Say hi when you're here. I'd love to know who's watching. And let's see, give me some hearts if you have been to Disney and you're like a Disney fan, or give me some likes if you are planning on going and you're one of the people who've been asking me questions. So we'll look for the blue and the yellow. Hey Brandy and Brandy, nice to see you ladies tonight. Okay. So here's the deal. Sean and I are not Disney experts. By no means. I have lots of friends who are like die-hard Disney fans and they would have much better answers for you. And then of course there are Disney travel agents. But Sean and I like to travel. We've been all over and we always plan our own trips. We like to have control. We like to schedule every little detail ourselves. So we took control and we did this. Now if you have the time, I recommend planning your own trip. But if you don't have the time, then go through a Disney travel agent. But we are not newbies at planning trips, so actually Sean does most of the planning. I can't take credit for that. So anyway, in this video, we're going to talk about how we planned it, like the initial planning, the hotel we stayed at and our honest opinions, and then how we got into the best restaurants in 1 month, where it usually takes 6 months or a year, and London is taking Sean away. And then in another video, we're going to talk all about our favorite restaurants and the dining plan, and then the stroller we used, and our favorite experiences for toddlers, and all that kind of stuff. So we have a bunch of videos coming your way. But anyway, sorry. We like usually take turns manning London, and now that we are both in here, she's not having it. But anyway, okay, so Sean, I need you to talk about the blogs.
Oh, what should I do with her?
In a second. Oh, okay, so let me kill some time here. So what we first did was Sean did a lot of research on picking a time of the year to go, because we knew we wanted to go in February, but we didn't want to, and we wanted to go for London's birthday, but we didn't want to go on her actual birthday. 1, because it's a busy time of the year, and 2, because then we'd have to pay for her airfare because she would be over 2. So we went earlier in the month. But Sean, do you want to come tell them about the blogs you looked at?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Come on.
All right, I'll be right back. She wants me to watch Frozen again.
Okay, come on.
All right, I'm sad. I feel bad.
London, do you want Elsa?
All right. So which blogs are we talking about?
The ones you were just telling me about, where it drills down to the days.
Right. So there's the Disney Dad blog, right? That's a good one. That's the first one that we looked at, and it kind of gives you a breakdown month by month, like what are the good days to go, what are the light days to go, what are the like insane days to go, right? And then there's another one called Undercover Tourist. That's a really good one too. That one actually drill down by each park. So if you're looking at Magic Kingdom, it'll give you like a green check or a red exclamation mark, and it'll kind of be like, hey, if it's a green check, that means this park is going to be lighter crowds today. But if it's an exclamation mark, it'll say like, this is an extremely busy park to be in today, right? But also on there, it'll talk about like the early magic hours. So certain parks on certain days will have an extra hour in the morning or at night or both, or however they do it that time of year. So you can take advantage of that too. With those blogs. Hey, is everyone all right in there?
Yeah, we're
good. You gonna come back in and continue this?
Yeah, here, you take over.
All right. Well, we're gonna switch here. Just want to make sure. All right, hold on. Dead air. Dead air.
Coffee show.
Dead air.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, I will link those blogs in the comments below so that you can look them up. But then next what we did was we looked at the hotels, because you have to have the hotel. And we went with the Contemporary, which we would not stay at again. I don't know. How many of you ever stayed at the Contemporary? Give me some hearts or comment below. Let me see if any of you have ever stayed at the Contemporary. I did not like it. So we were like, oh, it's so cool. The monorail goes through it. It'll be super convenient. but in fact, it wasn't convenient at all, and it was expensive. But the restaurants in there, we didn't eat at any of them. The California Grill is in the Contemporary, and that's supposedly a really good restaurant, and you can watch the fireworks from there. But it never really made it to our list. It wasn't like one of our top choices, so we didn't eat at any of the restaurants there. And then to get on the monorail was actually a hassle, because you have to go through a metal detector, and then you have to take an elevator, and then you have to get on it, and here's the kicker. The monorail shuts down freaking early, and we had late dinner reservations, so...
Yeah, and they don't warn you about that when you're making the reservation, or on the app at least.
So we took the monorail to dinner, and we were like, okay, we're done with dinner, let's get back on the monorail to get back to our hotel. It was closed, and no buses came. So they have like Disney buses that shuttle people. They don't come to like just the resorts. They don't go from resort to resort. They just go from park to resort. So we were like stranded at another resort after dinner, so we had to get an Uber, and we don't have a car seat with us, so I just had to like hold London, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so what is the point of staying on the monorail? So the monorail only goes to Epcot and Magic Kingdom, right?
Right, yeah.
And we were within walking distance of Magic Kingdom, so that was nice. We walked there.
Yeah, that was a perk. That was good.
But we were stranded. Like, every place we went at nighttime, we couldn't get back home. So I was like, there's no point in staying on the monorail if you have late dinner reservations. So our dinner reservations were at, like, 9:45 every night. Like, super late.
But we were in good restaurants.
But we were in good restaurants, and London slept in the stroller, so it was like a date night every night. But anyway, we were stranded there. So I don't like the Contemporary because it's expensive. There's not many great restaurants, and it's far away, and the monorail is like not worth it. So anyway, what next time we go? Where are we staying? On the boardwalk.
Probably on the boardwalk. So there's like the Disney Beach Club villas, or there's the Yacht Club, and there's another one down there too. I can't think of it, but
because you can walk to Epcot and you can walk to Hollywood Studios, and it's pretty like centralized. Okay, now talk about the fast passes.
The fast passes. All right. So this kind of like helps you get on what you want and kind of thin out some of the waiting times. So every day you have a pass to the park, you get 3 fast passes, right? So let's say you're in Epcot, you want to go on that Elsa ride or the Frozen ride, they did in Norway, right? There's a fast pass for that day, and you can do that, right? And they give you times throughout the day. But once you use 3 of them on that day, you get a 4th one. So as soon as you finish that 3rd one, get on your app and see what else they got going on. Then you'll get a 4th fast pass. And it really helps you get on a bunch of things.
Okay, so anyway, we did, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm looking at my notes here. We wrote everything down. So what we did was we picked when we were going to go based on these blogs. We picked the hotel, and then we picked our fast passes that were available. That's how we chose the parks, which we were going to each day.
Yeah, we didn't really look at the Undercover Tourist blog like I was talking about earlier. Like I kind of discovered that after the fact, and this kind of led our choosing of the parks.
Yeah. So anyway, and then we picked our restaurant. So we looked at all the reservations that were available, and that's how we planned everything out. That did take some time. We watched a ton of YouTube videos. So for the rides, we watched ride-throughs that people videotaped, and it's so funny because I'm like, why the hell are people videotaping these things? Like, it's so stupid. What are you going to do? Like, for example, I'm going to talk about this in another video. We went to the Lion King show, which was amazing, but this lady is like videotaping in front of us, like holding her phone in front of London's face. I almost hit it out of her hand to be like, move your phone. Like, why? What's the point of videotaping that show? You're gonna rewatch it later on your shitty phone, like poor quality? Like, I just don't understand. But Sean's like, oh, I watch those on YouTube to see what the experience is like. And I was like, okay.
Well, some people do it like for their like YouTube channel, like that's what their whole channel is dedicated
to.
But the people that like you're saying that just why? Like,
this was
jump
like,
on YouTube and watch it.
This was like an older lady, and she didn't even know what she was doing. She was like zooming in, zooming out, zooming in. I'm like, oh my god, like somebody's gonna get sick if they watch this video. But anyway, and then we watched a ton of YouTube videos on the restaurants. Like, a bunch of different people ranked their favorite restaurants. We're gonna do that same thing this week. So then we made a list of the restaurants we wanted to go to, and here is, are we talking about this tonight? Yes, how we got into the restaurants. Go ahead, you can talk about that. So this was hard. This is because tell them how far in advance you have to go.
All right, calm down. One thing at a time.
Sorry.
All right, so I'll kind of lump both the Fast Pass and that together.
Okay.
So like if you book at a Disney resort, right? You can book fast passes up to 60 days in advance, right? If you don't, you can do 30 days in advance. That's an advantage of staying at a resort. Another advantage of staying at a resort is you can book your dinner reservations 180 days in advance, which that's ridiculous. So the top restaurants like Cinderella's Castle, Be Our Guest, all those, they go immediately, right, on that 180-day mark. But if you're persistent, you'll be able to catch them, right? So for a couple reasons. One, every day the restaurant will release reservations for whatever reason. People that called in and canceled, ones that they knew that they're going to open up, whatever, right? And the whole app that you use, it's like a marketplace, right? So if I have a reservation at Ohana and I give it up for something else, maybe Be Our Guest, whatever, that Ohana reservation will show up instantly in someone else's search when they're looking for it again, right? So someone could just be sitting there and like, I'll give up Cinderella's Castle for whatever, and boom, there it is. So you just gotta stay on it, right? It almost sounds annoying, and it is. It's tedious, but like you'll get this instant rush. It's like I kind of compare it to people who play Pokemon, and they look for a special one. They're like, there's one, and then they're like, Pikachu, and then they get all excited, right? And they catch it, right? And it's kind of how you do it these reservations. So we got into some really good restaurants that took some time, but they did pop up out of nowhere.
What time do they release the reservation?
Oh, so that's like the day of, right? So 6 in the morning the day of, you can jump on the app, and the restaurants will release all their reservations that have given up the day before or whatever they're releasing, right? But that's the day of. So you still could get, a Cinderella's Castle dinner the day of.
So every day at 6 a.m. they release all reservations, so you could book one in advance if it becomes available.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's what we did. So because we did not book 180 days in advance, we did, yes, Ashley, we stayed at Disney at the Contemporary, which I don't recommend doing. If you stayed at the Contemporary, somebody, and you liked it, maybe tell us why. But I didn't like it. But I mean, the room itself was really nice. Yeah, the room was nice.
The hotel is nice. It's just the whole experience that wasn't Disney enough for me, I guess. I expected more.
But we did not book this far in advance, so we were like, we can't get any of the reservations we want at the restaurants we really want. But Sean was persistent as hell, and every day was like, ooh, I got Cinderella's Castle. Ooh, I got Beauty and the Beast Castle. Ooh, I got Ohana. So if you're persistent, you can get them. Don't think like, oh, we're shit out of luck. Just keep checking. And again, if you have the time to do this, you can pull it off in a short period of time. And then the double benefit that you call.
Oh, right. See, I have a ton more things I could talk about with this, too. Because if you're booking it on the phone versus booking it online, this kind of goes hand in hand with double benefit.
Like a computer versus a phone?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Tech. Yeah. On mobile versus on the computer. So, if you're on your phone, you can only book for those restaurants that are available, right? There's also some packages that are offered, but you can only get those online, not on the phone. I'm sorry, on your computer, not on your phone, right? So I call these the double benefit, right? So at Hollywood Studios or Epcot, they have dinner and a show. So at Hollywood Studios, we went to the character breakfast, the Disney Junior character breakfast at
with Sophia the First,
with Sophia and Doc who's Jake the Neverland Pirates, and all those Manny, right? All those. We're all so into those shows. Anyways, so we went there, and then by going to breakfast there, we got a free fast pass to. It's like a fast pass. They call it something else, but it's basically a fast pass to the show that night. So each park kind of does a grand finale show every night, and Hollywood Studios was called Fantasmic that night, right? So we would have been able to go to the show if it hadn't rained, right? So that's why I call it the double benefit, right? So you have the character breakfast, and you have
a free
show in the package, right? But it is also one credit on the dining plan too. But that's another.
We'll talk about something else.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So anyway, so that's something to think about. And then also another perk of staying at the resorts, which we did not know this, and then luckily we found out, is Disney's Magical Express. So if you stay at a resort, they mail you your what are they called? Magic bands?
Well, those will come regardless. But if you do the Magic Express, they give you a bag tag. Like the ones that the airlines put on, that white one, that big sticker. This is a yellow one that they give you, so that they'll come and grab your bag. So you put it on at the airport you're leaving from, and when you get there, you don't ever touch it until you get back to your room. They come and get it. They have a special cart and whatever, and they deliver it right to your room. I love it. Some people are freaked out about it, I need my luggage on me at all times.
Like your parents.
Like my parents. We'd never do that. Sorry, guys.
They're probably watching.
Yeah, they're probably watching.
But there's also a shuttle, a bus. So as soon as you get off, it's really nice. They like shuffle you through. They tell you what bus to get on, and it was super quick. Like Sean, I was like, I have to pee, and he's like, come on, our bus is leaving. Like we had no time.
So we got really lucky. We got there, we signed right in, and like our line was moving. There's like 8 lines that you wait in. There's like 8 different buses, right? And they all go to different areas of Disney World, right? And they don't go to all hotels at once. But I read horror stories that you could wait up to like 2 or 3 hours before you even get to check in. At like high peak times, you could be waiting a while. But luckily, we got right off the plane, right on the bus, and went right there. Like we had only one stop. We were the second stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard stories where it could be up to 3 hours.
So that was nice. So anyway, you get off the plane, you get on this bus, in our case, right away. They play like videos for you the whole time, and then you check in, and they deliver your stuff to your room. You never even touch it. So
well, it's even better. So if you're out at the parks and if your room's not ready, they'll send you a text message once your room is ready. So you're like, oh, okay, I can go, and you don't even have to go to the front desk. You just use your magic band and hit the door, and it opens. I think that's great.
Yeah, because our room wasn't ready, so they were like, oh, we'll just text you. And then Sean upgraded what was that called? That frozen welcome.
Okay, so you do that through Disney Floral.
Okay.
Right? You don't do that through the hotel. So Disney Floral has all these different packages, whether they be for little kids or an anniversary for the Star Wars lover, right? They have like all kind of different in-room packages that like they'll come into your room before you get there and they'll completely decorate it. And put stuff on your door and put little lanterns and stuff and give like little gift baskets.
Okay, you can go take her. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
So anyway,
let's go watch.
I think that's all we wanted to talk about tonight. So I hope that helped. If it did, give me some hearts. Because those were a lot of the questions I got. Is where did you stay? Did you like it? How did you plan it? How did you get into these restaurants if you didn't have reservations way in advance? And the transportation. So we'll talk more about these things later this week. So stay tuned for our favorite restaurants, our least favorite restaurants, the dessert fireworks party if it was worth it, the best experiences for toddlers.
We also have to talk about like the app. There's 2 separate apps.
Okay.
Because there's the Shop Disney
app
too.
Oh, yeah.
You can have stuff sent to your Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you are a Disney expert and you have more to weigh in on these topics, comment below. I'd love your assistance because we are not experts. I'm just answering questions that we got, and I know a lot of you are like diehard fans. So please comment below and add anything to what we just said. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll be back and we'll probably talk about the food. Like, let's just get right to the most important part. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.